So first you want to measure your beads to your waist. So I've done that already before this part. And then you want to push the excess to the area with the knot. So you see this gap, that's the excess thread. So as you can see, the other side has the loop. And then that's the excess. So this part that's the part that I want from my waist. So now we're going to cut that off, the excess that we don't need for our waist beads. And now you're going to gather your supplies. So you have your needle and thread, and you have your clasp. You're also going to need a pair of scissors with a narrow edge. So as you can see, I'm using hair scissors here, but whatever kind of scissors that would fit. So you want to open it and use the pointy side to open up that hole at the back of the clasp. So you're just going to twist it and open it up. So you really want to do a good job of this because then it makes things a lot easier later on. See how much bigger that hole is now. So you're going to do the same thing on the other side. Perfect. Okay, so now you're going to take your needle and thread, and you're going to grab that side that has the loop, and you're going to open up the back of the thread, the needle and thread side. Normally where you would put a knot, you're not going to have a knot there. You're going to open it and put the string or the thread through your waist bead loop. So you want to open up that loop. It doesn't have to be perfect, but you want to try to get as much of that loop open as you can. And put your thread through there. So only one, so you're going to put one side through there. See that? And now you're going to make a knot. The same way you would if you were sewing something. There you see? So that's your knot. So when you make that knot, you see how that now has connected the beads to your needle and thread. So now you're going to open up your clasp. You always want to make sure that you use the side that we opened up to put your needle through, not the other side with the screw. So you're going to thread the needle through there and pull your thread from the beads through that. See how seamless that was? It's because we opened up the hole. So you're going to bring it all the way to where your beads start. And then you're going to make a knot at the edge. You want to try to make this knot as close to the clasp as you possibly can. It is a little tricky, but take your time. If you make that knot close, then you won't have a lot of excess space in your beads. So I've made my knot. And then you're going to use your scissors to cut off that excess thread. And then you pull your clasp through. So you see now you can't even see the knot. So you want to pull the rest of your beads all the way to that side to remove any gaps. And now we're going to go to the other side. So our other side does not have a loop because that's the part that we cut earlier. So we're going to create our own loop. So you're going to get your needle and thread. So cut off the knot that you had before. And you're going to open up the back of that thread again. And I did this the more complicated way. You probably could have just made the knot for the end of your needle and thread and just put your beaded thread through that hoop. But it comes to the same thing. So right now I'm trying to just get the same thing we did earlier. So creating my knot where my thread from the beads are in between the end of my needle and thread knot. Okay, so I've made my knot. So you see they are connected so far as you're holding that edge. So you do want to make sure that you keep that edge held so that you create the loop. So now you're going to get your clasp. You want to make sure that you use the side with the hole that we opened, just like earlier, and thread your needle through that hole and gently pull through. So as you can see, mine started to flip up. So you want to take your time and reestablish that loop and hold it with your fingers. And then take your time and thread the clasp through the rest of the way. So once you get that through, it slides through easily. And if your hole is big enough, even though the thread is folded, it'll still go through. Now you have your clasp at your beads. So you're going to make a knot just like we did the other side. You want to try to get it as close to the clasp as possible. It's a little tricky sometimes if the thread is not too long, but do your best. And then you want to cut off the excess. And then pull your clasp through. So there's a little bit of thread. It's not a big deal. When it all comes together, you're not going to notice it, but you just want to try to minimize having excess thread in between or gaps. So now you're going to screw your beads together. The two sides will come together. And there you go. This is your completed waist beads. So these are the removable, this is the removable option. Now, you don't have to take it off if you're showering or anything unless you just choose to. But let's say you want to switch your beads up or you're wearing an outfit that you can't have them on, you can take them off. And the excess, what I like to do is I use it for an anklet. So I would use the first way that I showed you how to tie them, and I just tie it on my ankle. So there you go. You have your waist beads and matching anklet.